Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Dylan Hildreth. This is Hildreth Media, and here we are going to do something a little bit differently. We're going to do an ESPN-style highlight reel showing, and we're going to talk about Ohio State, Texas. So, without further ado, let's get into this thing. Lee Corso making his final headgear pick. He picked Ohio State in 1996.
This is one of the easiest picks I've ever made. Texas is loaded. Texas is number one. They have a Manning at quarterback. Poor Ohio State. They ain't got a chance. Give me my first love.
There it is. Here it comes.
And he goes with Brutus, his first love. Coach Corso, thank you for all the wonderful memories. Now, to the game. Arch Manning making his first pass as the man, and oh boy. Let's see how it goes for Julian Sain. Right through. Touchdown, Buckeyes. CJ Donaldson, they're on the board first. And a massive, massive touchdown. Then Julian Sain trying to get it over to Jeremiah Smith, excuse me. Nothing. Arch Manning, he's going. And he's driving. They're driving. CJ Baxter, 8-yard gain, keeping the driver alive. And they get to the red zone. Arch Manning showing off some athleticism. Gets it to the 1-yard line with CJ Baxter. I wonder what happened last time Texas was in the red zone against the Buckeyes. Anybody remember?
It's not do or die, but it's close for you.
This happened.
Pressure comes.
Texas, shield your eyes, because it's not pretty. Can the Buckeyes do it once more?
From 82 yards.
This time at the 1, and he gets stuffed on the QB sneak. The Buckeyes, one of the best in the country in these situations. Nobody able to get by. Then Arch Manning off the play action pass. Gets it over, and it is picked off by Jermaine Smith. His first big mistake of the game. Can the Buckeyes capitalize on the mistake? Oh, you bet you they do. Over to Cornell Tate, 40-yard touchdown. Buckeyes take the commanding 14-0 lead. Arch Manning trying to cut that lead in half, and no! Great coverage over there. Both defenses all day played incredibly well. But now, we got Arch Manning trying to make things happen. Gets it over to Wingo. Gets it over to Livingston. And this one, a big touchdown pass to Parker Livingston. Cutting the lead in half. And now 2 minutes. You always want to have a Manning if you're in the 2-minute drill. The midfield, trying to keep it alive, and he cannot. As the Buckeyes beat the Longhorns 14-7. What a game. What a game. An old-fashioned Big Ten style Midwestern slobber knocker, as the great JR would say. Good old Jim Ross. Now, looking at the quarterbacks. Arch Manning, 17 of 30, 170, touchdown and a pick. That pick ended up being the difference in this game. Where Julian Sain, all he had to do is not mess it up, and that's exactly what he did. 13 of 20, 126 and a touchdown with a QBR of 74.5. Arch Manning's was 58. Now, for Texas, the run game, very promising. It's going to allow Arch to grow into the quarterback position. It's going to allow him to develop on the job. So, taking a look at the rushing game, C.J. Donaldson for the Buckeyes, their lead rusher, 19 carries, 67 yards, 3.5 yards carry, and a touchdown. The longest run of this game was 15 yards by Arch Manning. The most by a running back was C.J. Baxter with 14 yards. Now, for the Buckeyes, yes, go ahead, celebrate, do what you will, but the running game is concerning. Only 77 yards on 34 carries. And I get it's a little bit tampered down because of how good the Texas defense is. But that is a problem, especially in Big Ten country. Getting 2.3 yards per carry. Definitely something that's going to have to be addressed if Ohio State wants to repeat as national champions. And with Texas, it was just a bad place to be starting a brand new quarterback. That simple. Just a bad place to start a new quarterback. In Columbus, one of the absolute craziest places to play. So, as far as Texas goes, not too much to be concerned about as far as Arch Manning and the development, but it is concerning that in this big game, he shrunk. Because the big games they are going to keep coming. In about a month's time, you go to the Swamp, and then you have Oklahoma in the Cotton Bowl a couple weeks after that. At Kentucky, Mark Stoops, he's always good for an upset at some point in the season. Then you got Vanderbilt, and we all know this ain't Grandpa's Vanderbilt where you just run them over. And then you go to Samford to play the Bulldogs. That is going to be a problem as well. They couldn't do it in Austin. They couldn't do it a second time in Atlanta. And now they are going directly to Georgia, to Athens. That's going to be a problem, especially given how well Georgia played. But that's for a different video. Texas A&M, and then you finish off the season against Texas A&M. And you know the Aggies are going to be looking for revenge, and it could very well be A&M's Super Bowl in that game. So, and then when you look at Ohio State, their schedule, it doesn't soften up much either. You do play Grambling and the Ohio Bobcats. However, you then go on the road to Washington. You are at Illinois and Champaign. Then you have to go to Camp Randall. I know Wisconsin, they're not as good as how we remember them. But at Camp Randall is going to be an issue. And then you got Penn State at home. And Penn State is going to have one hell of a chip on their shoulder. And Ohio State's former defensive coordinator, Jim Knowles, is the defensive coordinator for Penn State. And then, at the end of the year, it is that game. The game against the team up north that you are 0-4 against. And it is in Ann Arbor. So, Ohio State, they still got their safety nets. Texas, forced to use one. Can't afford too much more slippage. But we'll see how the season plays out. I'm Dylan Hildreth. This is Hildreth Media. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything. And we'll see you in the next one.